But at the same time, I mean, we are losing our freedoms. Everybody's ever talking about, well, you know, when the Democrats are in, we want a Republican. When the Republicans are in, we want a Democrat.
Who are you voting for?
Oh, I'm not voting. We don't have votes anymore. They put in the electronic voting machines. Public around the city already. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. So the question is, see, I don't just walk around ranting and raving 24 hours a day. I study this stuff. And they have put in electronic voting machines, and Clear Channel actually owns the local voting machines. With McCall, that they're running for the new 10th district. So they own the voting machines, the candidate. He's married to the fat-ass chairman of Clear Channel's daughter. And so they own the voting machines, and there's #1 political contributors, and they control most of the radio and TV stations around here. So, yeah. So this is a great new system we have in America. It's kind of the feudal system. It's like North Korea. The father gives his son power, Kim Jong-il. In Syria, Assad, his daddy gave him power. And here we have the same thing. A mindless, retarded twit looking at a teleprompter telling you a bunch of frickin' lies. But the problem is, I want everybody to know, this, the gay marriage stuff, Howard Stern talking about his wee-wee.
Smoke screen.
Those are all smoke screens, diversions, distractions from the real things that are happening. Let me tell you what the real deal is. 5 years ago, almost every major city had the Defense Department mount ground-penetrating radar on all the helicopters. They got a black and white image of the inside of your house, crisp and clear, when you're on the toilet, in the shower, or on your wife. That's not freedom. That's way past 1984. Now, is that funny? What I think is funny is these slobs that go, well, yeah, you know, the government might know about 9/11, might have been involved, might have taken our rights, but we had to show them Arabs. Them Arabs didn't do jack. Them Arabs didn't run the attacks. Your loving, military, industrial, complex did. Yeah! So that's the bottom line. And no, it's not funny. What's funny is sitting on our asses, being ignorant, and not knowing what's going on in our country, in this world. You know, Bill Hicks, great guy, good friends with his producer, Kevin. And I agree with a lot of what Bill had to say, but, you know, not all of it. Bill loved Noam Chomsky. Well, I've interviewed Noam Chomsky, and I think he's a government traitor. No, I'm serious. Noam Chomsky is the phony left. They give you false solutions, just like the phony conservatives give you false solutions. And this is how they control the paradigm. This is how they manage things. And until we get back to a Bill of Rights culture, until we know what freedom is, they're going to continue to take it away from us. So until you really know what America's all about, you know what freedom's all about, you're not going to understand why it's turning into an Orwellian nightmare. And believe me, it is. So again, that's not really funny. But what is funny is the bullshit that they're coming up with, the ways they're trying to sell us that we're part of the power process, that we really affect change, that we're involved in the game. And the day that we find out that we're not in the game, that's when we start getting back in the game. When we stop going along with the false paradigms that they've created, that's when we're going to get our freedom back. So for the so-called leftists, I mean, I want you to know that you should love George W. Bush. Government's grown by 45% in 3.5 years. The borders are wide open. The jobs are disappearing in the country. This is globalism. I hope you enjoy it. And they're just getting warmed up. All this police state that you've seen being set up is just for you in case you stop going along with this. That shows that they're afraid of you. All you see is a difference in rhetoric between John Skull and Bones Kerry and George W. Bush. These guys are cousins. These guys are members of the same secret society. They jerk off in the same coffin together. No, I'm serious. I'm not joking around. I remember 5 years ago talking about Skull and Bones. the hereditary generational death cult. I remember talking about it, talking about how these so-called Christian conservative leaders, they all have their homosexual orgies and worship Satan together. No, I'm not joking. It's funny, but it's not a joke. And I remember warning people about this. Skull and Bones, this guy's crazy. And then a movie comes out about the skulls, and you saw that in a movie. But that's what they're into. When I snuck into Bohemian Grove, I was just there for the kickoff, and they're doing, this Babylonian ritual and doing their mock human sacrifice. I mean, that's who runs your country. And really, you look at history, powerful elites always get decadent. They get into whatever the wildest thing there is, and they just keep going with it. And that's what's happening to your society. So stop being stupid and don't let these bastards screw you. And you're thinking, well, I don't have any power. How do I change things? You just stop buying their crap. And you stop buying the different layers of manipulation, and you start studying history, and you start taking the political process back to the local level. And that starts with getting these electronic touchscreen voting systems out, which are a complete fraud, no paper ballot. No, I'm serious. I mean, you want to even talk about elections, you can talk about votes, you've got to understand that. And some people try to blame voters for what we're in right now. They select the candidates. They select who you've got a choice from. The mob owns all the ponies. And we've got to expose the fact that the establishment owns all the people who are in the race, and that's why we don't have a real choice. And so that's the cold, hard truth. We can take this country back in a matter of minutes, this world back, if people simply decided to expand their understanding of the system. And for all the good old boys, well, first let me do a leftist for you. I just feel that I associate my personal power with Bill Clinton and Al Gore and, today be Howard Dean. And, we've got to have a bigger government. That's going to be the solution. A bigger government will stop all these evil corporations. Well, these big evil corporations own and run the government. So all you're giving them is a bigger tool to bash your brains out. We've got to reduce the size of government, and we've got to get it out of our lives so they don't have that mechanism of control.
What do you want out of life?
What do I want out of life? Well, I don't want to crush my enemies or see them driven before me, or the limitation of the women. What I want out of life is to be left alone, be able to raise my family, and to not have the surveillance society around me, and to not see the government engineering a system to dumb the people down. People are dumb enough on their own. This is a system designed to lower us to the lowest common denominator. But the good old boy, he rides around and he's really a complete coward. I mean, he'll get real mad if his neighbor's dog craps in his yard, and he's the type when he's walking out of the 7-Eleven during halftime with a case of beer belly sticking out. You look at him wrong, his wife's sitting right up close to him in the dually. You look at him wrong, boy, he ain't about to take it. But the government raids his house with a SWAT team, after his guns or his pot or whatever. He'll just sit there and grovel down to them and lick their boots and whatever. So we've got a society of men that aren't men. That's another big problem. We should all be aggressive and jealously defending our liberty. And we've got a country of women watching the television, believing this lie that we're all supposed to have this war with each other. That's all engineered to keep us at each other's throats. We've got to wake up and be human beings and stop being cowards. That's what change